This week on Around the Monitor, the Xbox Kinect was actually monitoring you this whole time, and one brave indie dev stands up to the Epic Game Store. Get this man a shield. It's time to go Around the Monitor.
Let's go.
And what's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of August 23rd. I'm your host, King Kaiser, and this is the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. Joining us once again after a long hiatus, the unlucky tactician, or the Green 8 Ball.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back from the Amazon, and I haven't shaved since I got back, and this is all I got. So, good to be back in action.
We've got the fanciest boy in the land, Dapper Dastard.
I also haven't shaved.
And the most clean-shaven man on the show, first time ever, Remarkable Me.
Hey, yes, I did shave this morning, actually. So,
let's get right into it. Actually, first off, we've got the new segment that I was trying to start a few weeks ago, Deals of the Week, currently on the Epic Game Store. Fez, the old indie game, I want to say like 6 years old, is free, and next week both Celeste and Inside are free. Literally two of the best indie games to come out. I would argue two of the best games to come out in the last 5 years. So there we go. Let's get started with our trivia question to decide the order for this week. Just recently, 3/4 of us have played through the new Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I think we like it a lot. Just recently, some sales numbers came out for its first month, July, which I believe it was only on the market for a few days, but we've got the digital sales for that game. Now, keep in mind, it's digital sales, and it was only a few days. But how many copies of Fire Emblem Three Houses were sold on the digital storefront?
Digital, right?
Yeah, just digital. They don't have hard copy sales yet. Whoever wants to take the first stab may take it.
It's just, where's this? Is this just United States or just worldwide?
This is worldwide,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
as far as I'm aware.
I know it's sold really well physically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Every place I fucking went to tonight, it was sold out.
That's wild.
You know what? I'm just gonna throw out a number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out a number. 900.
900,000? All right.
I'm gonna
It's probably that's very much on the low side.
say
but
like 2 million.
Okay.
I'll go 1.4 million.
All right. And the winner is Remarkable Me. The correct answer, 800,000.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Alright.
So, and again, you got to count it. I think it came out right at the end of July. So
Yeah, 26.
So it only had like 4
Yeah,
or 5
digital
days
sales,
to
yeah.
get only the digital sales. So yeah, we'll start with Remarkable Me. We'll go into Dapper, and then we'll go to 8 Ball.
Yes.
Let's talk about the topics for this week. We've got Xbox says it has no plans to release more exclusives on other consoles. This is coming just on the end of them also announcing that Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to Switch. We got to look at Death Stranding's gameplay, but not Norman Reedus' penis. Sony purchases Insomniac Games. GameStop lays off 100 plus people, including nearly half of Game Informer's staff. A huge investor, notably one of the characters from Moneyball, throws a bunch of money into GameStop's stock, believing that it actually is going to do pretty good soon. A trophy from Pokemon World Championships broke as soon as the winner touched it. An indie developer refused to go Epic Store exclusive, and things are turning out pretty well for them. Microsoft was apparently recording audio with the Kinect, and Apex Legends developers get dragged into the mud through arguments about microtransactions. Remarkable, where'd you like to take us first?
oh, that is a tough question because a lot of these are near and dear to my heart. Oh man, because I love Xbox. That's my main console. Let's see. I work for GameStop.
Yeah, important to note, Remarkable
I'm an
works
indie
for
developer.
GameStop.
He hasn't been fired yet.
I have not been fired yet. somehow.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. I'm an indie developer. I make VR games, and I just love every time a developer has terrible communication with their
Oh,
audience.
jeez,
So
we,
man,
we,
this
we
is
gotta get you and Mizuki on the same episode. I feel like you guys would just get along so well. He also makes VR games.
you know what? Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with the thing that I've been following the most, and that's the Apex Legends devs
All
getting
right.
dragged through the mud.
Got 2 minutes on the clock. Give us the rundown and give us your thoughts.
All right, so basically over the weekend, a new Apex Legends event came out. I believe it's Rusted Iron or something. But the main gist of it is that the community managers for Apex Legends did an Reddit Ask Me Anything, and with this with the event, there is expensive microtransactions. Originally, everything was tied behind a loot box system, which people figured out that it would cost $170 in loot boxes to unlock this one cosmetic item. I believe it's a skin for their axe. And then Respawn, the developers, said basically, all right, you can outright buy it. It's $18. The community did not take too well to that.
I don't know why.
They're like, that is way too expensive for a skin.
For a melee weapon that you barely ever see in the game.
Exactly. And the Respawn developers were like, but you're all asshats. I remember when game developers were respected by their community and the fans were not just asshats to them. And basically, it was the community attacking the Respawn developers, and then the Respawn developers responding with absolutely zero tact. It also doesn't help that there was some level of sarcasm in some of their posts, but since it's all written, it was all on Reddit, you got none of the sarcasm.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of the comments they made was, we have a ton, like, they were responding to their core audience is actually what the industry refers to as whales. It's a bunch of people who are, it's like 3% of a total audience that makes 99% of the purchases is what's referred to as whales. And so Respawn was like, yeah, we got a bunch of freeloaders, which we love, but obviously it's a compliment.
Yeah, that one was definitely being taken out of context all over the place on the internet.
So that comment I have no problems with. Yeah, we have a bunch of freeloaders, which we love. They like the idea that they have a lot of people. How it read, though, was, you're all freeloaders. How dare you not give us money?
Yeah, and Reddit sure did not love that.
No.
Any ideas of how they could move away from this kind of snafu that they're in right now? Easily.
Honestly, the best option is just shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Stop talking. Send your community manager to some conference to where they can actually learn how to do their job. Because the thing is that people on the internet, you don't know who you're talking to. These are probably just the people attacking them could be 14-year-old kids that just like getting a rise out of somebody. If you're a company, you always have to take the high ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the situation is. If somebody calls you greedy shitlord,
yeah, I think one of the comments they actually made was like, and we're always supposed to take the high ground here. Like, and the answer is kind of yeah. I mean, you're literally, I think it was like the PR representative of the company of Respawn was saying something like that. And it's like, in your position, actually, yes, that's your job to kind of take it on the chin, dude.
You always have to take the high ground, and I think that's something that Respawn learned the hard way. And hopefully, because I mean, before this whole snafu, Respawn was kind of like the people's champion of EA, but I think that might have gotten a little bit to their head because I know they don't make all the decisions with their pricing and everything. EA has a big hand in it, but then again, Respawn does have at least a little bit of a hand in it. But I think they'll definitely learn a huge lesson from this that just if there's a huge complaint, either shut up about it, like don't make it worse, don't put oil on the fire, or address the complaint and be like, hey, this is what we're working to make it better.
Yeah, I I really hope the new Star Wars game goes well for them.
I do too. I do too. I don't want Respawn to become the next
Exactly.
BioWare.
Exactly. Dapper, you're up next. What topic are you going to be taking here?
All right, I'm gonna talk about Sony purchasing Insomniac Games.
All right. They finally pulled the trigger on this. Talk to us about it.
All right. So does everyone remember the old theme song for the old Spider-Man cartoon?
How can you forget?
Spider-Man does whatever Sony tells him to. Because as obviously Insomniac is known for the Spyro series and the Ratchet and Clank series originally, but obviously as most people know, they did a really, really good job with the new Spider-Man game for the PS4.
I believe it sold 13 million units is the current count, which is pretty insane for an exclusive.
Yeah, it felt a lot like the Arkham Batman games, and I love pretty much all of those. Only it's an Arkham game you get to play in a sunny place. So basically, coming right off the back of the news that Sony is taking Spider-Man out of Disney's hands, and then goes and buys the developer who just made the recent Spider-Man game, basically pretty much declares very loudly that Sony wants its Spider-Man. Sony wants its Spider-Man real bad, and they basically want it anything Spider-Man related in movie form, animated form, or video game form. They want it to come through Sony.
Yes.
Which I mean, and you can go on and on whether the Disney Sony break for the movie character is a bad thing. That's a whole different discussion. But I mean, basically in terms of video games, I don't really think this is. I think this is just fine. This is a company that's obviously made a lot of games for PlayStation systems. So I feel like they obviously weren't owned by. They weren't owned by Sony, but they felt pretty beholden to Sony.
I think the only game in recent memory they've made that wasn't an exclusive to PlayStation was Sunset Overdrive.
Right. So this really just feels like this doesn't really feel like it's going to change much. It's just Sony, like, hey, you've been putting your games on our platform forever anyway. Let's just put the money on the table, make it a deal, and hopefully we get another really good Spider-Man game out of it. I don't see why we wouldn't.
I'm sure I would be willing to bet a substantial sum of money that they are already working on a sequel for the PlayStation 5.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It was way too highly received not
to get a sequel, yeah.
Right. All you gotta do is put the same formula with some new villains, and Spider-Man's never short on a rogue gallery.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a pretty much guaranteed moneymaker.
For sure. 8-Ball, what would you like to pick for your first topic?
I'm gonna take the Pokemon one.
Oh
the
yeah.
Pokemon trophy collapsing upon itself.
Let me actually pull it up. I've got the clip ready here for us to witness. It is so choice. Here we go.
United States, Isaac Tercera.
This kid comes out, and they literally hand him the trophy, and as they do, the thing falls off, and the crowd goes, "Oh no!"
Her reaction's good too.
She's like,
Okay.
"Oh, let me just
Congratulations. Let's hear it one more time.
She's like, "Okay, kid, just go sit on the thing." Okay, thank you. Oh.
The 2019 Pokemon TCG.
God, and the Twitch chat at the time for this is just going bonkers, as you can imagine.
Oh, of course, it's Twitch chat.
I think that happened with the Stanley Cup some years ago, where like a piece of the Stanley Cup broke during someone dropped the Stanley Cup after the NHL finals and broke a piece of it. It was really funny.
I mean, they just handed it to him, like the
Yeah,
kid
no
just
one
like took it
cared.
and it fell in half.
There's layers to this that make it even better, and I'll go over a little bit. of them.
Please, yeah, take it away.
So basically, besides obviously all of the orchestry and all the the theatrics there's a couple things at play. First of all, this kid got second place. So imagine going like all the way across like wherever he came from, like country, wherever, to travel, kick some ass at like this card game. Second place, like not even that great of a trophy, and then like it's just
second
falls apart.
place,
and it's second
the second
place.
best in the world.
So it's like he's like, oh man, like he's probably a little sad that he didn't get first. Then his trophy breaks in front of him. I'm like, oh my god. You could see it in his eyes. Even better, this is the first trophy that was given out. So you imagine everybody else behind this kid like, ooh, man, like my trophy's gonna fall apart too. Like it's like they all look the same, like except for maybe like a gold instead of a silver cup. So that one breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And then even better. So if not for like all of this happening right now, I know that the trading card game is a little separate like beast than the actual meat that is anything else that Game Freak puts out. Is this a representation of what's going to happen when the new game comes out? Who knows?
Oh man.
Because they have to, like, they already got memed for a bunch of other stuff. It's the little mini, like, are they going to get memed when somebody brings something tragic or whatnot on Reddit? They already mentioned how brutal Reddit can be.
Yeah.
But they were brutal about even any news that they've heard about this new Sword and Shield games coming out. So are they going to get memed? Is it a theme for Game Freak that they're going to get memed into eternity, or things are just going to fall apart literally in front of their hands, even though they've got like this picturesque, like, we still got the same thing we've been releasing, this Pikachu, over and over again for 8 years. Is this finally where we're going to take a hit? Who knows? But this trophy might be a representation of that. I wanted to joke around with that.
Yeah.
Not very, very long interpretation, but goddamn short and sweet.
It's
and so is that guy's victory celebration. It's goddamn. Sorry, man.
And what a champ.
it's awfully short
champ.
and not so sweet.
That's so sweet.
Mark, it's your turn again. What's going to be your second topic of this week?
Oh god, I think I just closed the thing. Let's go. I guess we'll go with the GameStop topic.
Which one? The
Which
investor
one?
or the laying off 100 plus people, including half of Game Informer?
This
My
is...
coworker got laid off.
No one at my store got laid off, so. Oh god, the Big Short investing in GameStop. I know nothing about investment, so I guess I would. You know what? No, I'm gonna go off on a limb. I'm gonna take that one because I can kind of see where he's coming from, because I know GameStop's doing some stuff that kind of shakes.
Yeah, tell us.
So yeah,
tell
I'll
us.
take the guy from the Big.
Tell us.
Yeah, the Big Short investment guy is spending a bunch of money. He actually just bought 3% of stock in all of GameStop. But take it away, please.
All right, so as the article states, GameStop has had a pretty rough 4 years. I haven't seen it personally, but then again, I work at one of the busiest GameStops in the area. I can honestly see why he's buying it, because right now the stocks are really low, because physical game sales have gone down, because that's where the industry is going. It's going digital. What people don't know is that GameStop is actually doing a lot of things that like Blockbuster refused to do, and that makes subtle changes. Like my GameStop, for instance, isn't just a GameStop right now. It's actually what we call a 50-50 store. So it's not just games; it's half video games, half collectibles. Actually, a big portion of our sale now is collectibles.
Funko Pops.
Yep, a lot of Funko Pops, a lot of action figures. Most of our regulars these days are actually regulars that come in not to pre-order games, but to pre-order action figures, because those are so much harder to come by than games, and you can't digitally purchase an action figure. Also, he in the article he makes the reasoning why he did it is because he says GameStop's at its lowest point, which it is. But he also believes that GameStop will bounce back on the next generation of consoles, which that's going to happen, because what you even though there are a lot of people that are switching to digital, there's a lot of people who somehow in 2019 don't have an internet connection, so they need physical games, and the next generation has physical games. So that's where GameStop's going to swoop in, and there will always be a used game market.
Absolutely.
So I can see GameStop maybe not getting back where it was. Like in the early 2000s, 90s, maybe even up to 2010, 2012. But I can see it leveling out and finding a decent niche where it can operate. It's probably going to shrink more than it already is, but I don't think GameStop's going to die, at least not within the next 10 years.
Really? Now that you think it's still got more than 10 years?
Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's got more than 10 years.
I'd say
I mean, there's still blockbusters around.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'd say it's got 5, but I don't know about 10. Timeless in the chat says, why does Marks have such a big forehead? That's because I did a poor job at cropping the picture. Here, it's totally fine. You can see all of his hair and a good 2 inches above it. Here, terrible. Actually, So you a little bit how the sausage gets made here. We'll fix this on the fly. Boom! Look at that.
There we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. My score, it's gone.
Dapper, what'd you like to pick for your second topic?
Actually,
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
whoa, Jesus.
I mean, before we started the show,
I
you
don't
were
even
talking
know.
an awful big game about Norman Reedus.
Yeah, the only problem is I didn't actually watch the gameplay footage.
Oh.
So if I chose that topic, I have nothing to talk about except for memeing the fact that I can't see Norman Reedus' faces. And what's the point of buying the game?
That's a good point.
Yeah, but pee
Very
makes
good point.
mushrooms grow, apparently.
Yeah, that was the
That's-
most wild thing of it. I was like, wait, why did?
Fucking weird.
Dude, who would have
What the
expected?
absolute fucking hell, Kojima?
Who would have expected that Kojima would make a game where mushrooms are into water sports?
I am going to jump into the indie dev refusing to go exclusive on Epic.
Yeah, I actually was really hoping someone would pick this because
Yeah,
we've long talked about my opinions on the Epic Games Store, but I dare say they're starting to shift. Please
Yeah.
take it away, Dapper.
yeah. So coming off of some indie developers and some big ones, Borderlands 3, most notably, signing exclusive agreements with Epic Games. At the Epic Games Store, and the considerable amount of backlash. We actually talked about it 2 weeks ago about the indie makers of Oblets, who got some really horrible things said about them, and we got to listen to Hayo not be that mean, but still be kind of mean about it.
I mean, he said, you know what? I'm pretty sure he actually did say, you know, if they got death threats, they deserved it. So I would say that he did get pretty mean.
Yeah. So now we have the opposite story. We have someone admitting that they were offered an exclusive deal, and they said no to it, and got the opposite reaction. As opposite actions tend to get, they get opposite reactions. And actually, a lot of people came to his defense, and people even was like, I wasn't even, gonna buy this game, but now I'm going to, just because you're not selling it at the Epic Store, which is kind of dumb.
My argument is I would be... I really wonder how many of these people actually buy it. That being said, this puts a lot more attention on his game, and to be fair, the trailer looks damn good. So,
that's what actually I was going to talk about. Like, what a way to manipulate the marketing in your favor. Like,
so true.
It's almost like he's hoping that by taking a stand, he can get more people to buy the game on Steam and make up whatever developer less developer share that he would have gotten on Epic. That seems a little far-fetched, but it really is it's a smart marketing move with how annoyingly toxic gamers are and how they just utterly hate the Epic Store. And while I do admit I also don't really like the Epic Store because it's lacking on a lot of features still, and I'm not seeing enough progress on them. But people really, really hate the Epic Store.
They absolutely do.
Literally, just by saying no to them, he probably has actually potentially increased his sales some small margin, just for
sure,
just for being the champion of the people. It's kind of
the meat and potatoes of it is Epic emailed him and said, hey, we want to offer you an exclusive deal, and he said, well, I've done a
they said they offered him a deal, and he asked, is it an exclusive deal? They said yes, and then he said, without even looking at the actual pricing and stuff, he said no.
Because he had already promised Steam keys to people who had funded his game.
And that's a big part, because that's what one of the problems with the Oblets thing. That's one of the problems with the Oblets was people had sort of helped out with the Kickstarter for it and the funding for not the game itself, but for stuff associated with the game. With the expectation it wasn't going to be an Epic Store exclusive.
Exactly.
So I will give him credit for that he wanted to make sure he stuck to his principles on not betraying a promise. So I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. It's wild, and I'm sure too, from his perspective, seeing what just happened last week or 2 weeks ago with Ooblets, and then being like, hey, do you want to take this same deal?
Right.
I'm sure.
Here's some extra money, but in the other hand,
death threats,
internet rage, endless internet rage. With that, there's always a price.
Right.
Equivalent exchange.
Right. 8-Ball, final topic for you, man. What are you taking? Bring us home.
Scumbags both took the categories. Like, that's not bad.
Hey, man, you still have the
I'm-
excellent topic of Xbox listening into us with the Kinect.
Yeah, right. I will be talking about Microsoft and Xbox, but I'm gonna be taking it a different way. I'm gonna be talking about how they're not releasing exclusives on any
Yeah.
more other systems than party consoles and
Yeah.
all that jazz.
Absolutely. Please,
So,
please take it away. I thought this was an interesting one.
I mean, obviously, people are aware that Xbox has been spreading the love a little recently. I don't know how specific we want to go into what they've done.
Mhm.
They've done numerous amount of things.
They're getting real friendly with Nintendo, it seems.
Yeah, and just because they don't release exclusives doesn't mean that entirely ends either. So, like, yes, what I would say is Xbox needs to make sure it's exclusives that are still very solid. They still have solid, especially multiplayer exclusives on their console. Like, they always still have Gears, always still have Halo. You know, they'll still have those exclusives to their market or whatnot. I would actually just focus on promoting your system and making it better, and especially if you're going to do the streaming service, making it so it beats Google, especially because like holy shit, you really need to do that.
xCloud.
Because yes, exactly. So if you're going to have that as your mainstay or your next biggest thing, you need to make sure that's very good. It's also not mentioning that they are releasing on PC Halo eventually too, which is also a huge boom.
Oh, yeah.
That I don't think any of the it's not like Nintendo's releasing like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart on PC. They're just not. Same with Sony releasing their multiplayer like database as well. Maybe somewhere on Steam eventually, but not their
Their
exclusives.
bread and butter,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so that Halo is probably one of the top in terms of multiplayer franchises. That's got to be high on the list. So getting it on PC is actually going to do wonders for them as well, even if you're not sharing with other companies. So you can still play nice with PC.
Yeah.
Or you can still spread your games another way. They've done. Microsoft is actually in the last 2 years, I think they've done actually a pretty good job in comparison to where we would have pinned them a little bit ago in comparison to Sony and Nintendo.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Compared to
what they're
2013.
yeah. So what they're doing is better than what I think not releasing your exclusives is a smart move in this case, because keeping it in-house, making sure your exclusives are good on your systems, making sure this Gears is good, making sure the new Halo is good, making sure any of the other exclusives, and making sure you just have like this new Spider-Man they just bought, Insomniac. So like making sure your exclusives are rock solid. Oh, that was Sony. Sorry, but sorry, I mixed it up. Jesus, I'm gonna lose me points.
No.
Either way,
I thought it was a joke at
but
first.
making sure your exclusives, Jesus, they're apparently Sony now. Or if you're Sony, or if you're Microsoft, or if you're Nintendo, this goes for all three of you. You should be trying to those are what make your brand or your console what it is. People play it for that thing. Besides, obviously, the services on top of it, but a lot of them play it for the exclusives. So like keeping them in house and making sure they're rock solid and good every time they release them, whenever you do release them, is probably a main priority for your system.
Absolutely.
Besides making the system good itself.
And
And beat Google.
and
Please
beat Google. I know. God, I so hope that they do.
Please beat Google. If I have to see Phil on stage, is it Phil, bald guy?
Well, Phil Spencer,
for
but it's
For Google.
Google is. I know you're talking
I
about.
have no idea.
I think
That
it is
guy.
Phil.
If I have to see him do another conference,
he's another Phil.
I can't.
Right now, we've got a tie between 8-Ball and Remarkable Me. Can we? We've got.
Oh, is it time to talk about Microsoft list?
we've got 3 topics left. I'm gonna let Mark pick first, and I'm gonna give you just 1 minute, a hard 1 minute, and we'll go from there.
All right, hard 1 minute.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go. Let's go with Microsoft.
Microsoft recording with the Direct. Take it away.
Yeah, with next. All right. So first of all, Microsoft was recording audio with the Kinect. We found this out from individual contractors. My main point is anyone really surprised? We've known about this for like Siri has been doing it. The Amazon Echo has been doing it. Pretty much anything that you can talk to has been listening to you, but it's actually pretty funny because they revealed that the people who have just been working for this company have been just basically hearing kids basically telling their Xbox to stop, no, please, don't hit me, or other accidental commands, while another time, as they were listening in, it actually caught parts of what's basically phone sex between what I'm sure is 2 consenting adults.
Well, it's a phone section. If you
So-
don't want it, you just hang up.
That's right. You can't really force phone sex on somebody.
And that's
But,
actually
yeah,
your minute right there. I'm sorry. That's a funny spot to end on. 8Ball,
Great.
which one are you picking here?
Oh God, Lee, these topics are
You've got
my
GameStop
favorite.
laying off Game Informer staff and Death Stranding's gameplay. I think is the only
Oh,
two
wait.
ones you have
I
left.
thought we did the GameStop. We did the GameStop laying off people. We have to do the other one.
No,
he
no, no,
talked
I
about the
did
stock.
GameStop. Yeah, stock.
He talked about the stock, like
Yeah.
the guy buying it.
Yeah.
I talked about the stock.
What?
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
Okay. I had everything prepared. Okay, I'll do the other one. Shit. Okay. Mine's not gonna be as memey, but we're go.
Go.
All right. So, GameStop is essentially like they're like the gaming pawn shop right now. So no one likes to go to pawn shops anymore. They're sketchy, sleazy, whatever. Mark works at them, whatnot. The point is, as mentioned before, everybody's going digital, and everybody doesn't want to pay the prices that GameStop has to run these prices. Everybody's like, "Oh, GameStop overcharges me for used games." They have to. They'll go out of business. It's like the same time you go on Pawn Stars, you're not going to get what you want or what you expect. You get an undercut of what you expect. So they have to overcut you on that, or else they won't make money. So no one wants to pay that. If you're going to buy a used game, you can just get it from a friend. You can buy it on Amazon, eBay, snipe people for it, beat them, and feel better about your life instead. But like GameStop is laying off people because, unfortunately, Mark says 10 years. I think a little less. Like Kaiser said 5. I'll probably give like 6, 7, whatever, because they could still survive on what they have still left remaining. But gamers will go to those. That's why the stocks are crashing. And I don't think GameStop is, even though they're reforming, and Mark says they are, the stocks and the layoffs are proving otherwise. People are just losing jobs because that is a dying business in terms of selling hard copies.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too because one of the actual places that I source articles for the show is on Game Informer, and so I've seen a lot of these names in some of the articles I've pulled, and it was, I think they had like 14 major like writers and editorial staff, and 7 of those were laid off, which is like, it sucks because now like one of the guys I whose name I'm like very familiar with is Imran Khan, and I'm like, well, I won't be seeing articles from you on Game Informer anymore. Also, it's wild to me that they're still, because Game Informer is also a magazine, and they're still going to keep printing the gaming magazine in 2019, which blows my freaking mind.
Who reads magazines?
Like, thank you. I'm like, what are you
I read
doing?
them at doctors' offices,
Yeah.
but they're usually outdated. So
Yeah.
the difference
I
The
can't
difference
believe
between a
you-
dentist, and a sadist is newer magazines.
Hey,
That's what I found out.
got him. That's a.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's funny is that
that's gonna settle the tie. I give this one to the Green 8Ball for the memes and dreams. Got a lot of chuckles out of his comments, so you are this week's winner.
Yes. Celebration.
Yeah. Are you prepared to do your minute to win it?
Yeah. Why not?
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Please take it away.
So in terms of Redditors and other stuff, I'm gonna address you guys. You guys are the kings and queens of being online and such. So there's been a couple stories, obviously, in terms of that Respawn one is pretty interesting. But I think Reddit as a haven in terms of sharing information can get a little. People got to realize that the disagree or dislike button is not a I disagree with. It is people who filter out information that is not evident to a conversation. That's number one. That's the number one thing that bugs me. Number two is people just like automatically flaming. That usually happens anywhere, but that's their source for flaming nowadays. Besides like Twitch chat, and it goes to Reddit. So you see on Respawn, you see on Pokemon, you'll see on Fire Emblem, my thing got still fucking bombarded. The Kaiser's thing got removed or whatnot. It's just like, for how much of a community we can see and build on that, it's just a shame to see it misused. And there's wholesome ones. You get like shower thoughts. Shower thoughts Reddit is probably the most wholesome one out there. But I know like a couple of my friends, some people who come on the show post like on there and get gold, but there's like healthy ones too. So please seek out those ones. If you're having a bad time on game one, be an active member and try to change it. or like be a positive member, a positive force to try to change that. Don't be like, oh yeah, like I agree with this guy, and then flame the next guy. Or like, you shouldn't be fucking doing this. Try to be positive about your comments in terms of, don't say devs should kill themselves. That's probably one of the number one things. Don't tell anybody to kill themselves. Actually,
It's a
yeah.
that's a pretty good sentiment to end on, I think.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Be better.
Don't tell people to kill themselves.
Be good on Reddit, and don't tell people to kill themselves. That's the takeaway for this week.
Which unfortunately is way too hard for most people.
Yeah.
But I just played Pong and I can't suppress my violent urges.
Oh yeah, important to note. Remarkable Me, where can people find some of your work?
All right. Well, if you're looking for my professional work, you can find stuff that I'm working on
At
in
GameStop.
game development at GameStop. No,
Save the company.
Help me save the company, please. I need this job. No, I'm not worried about my job. My GameStop's doing fine. But he says as he opens his email, "Oh no, I've been laid off." Now you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/remarkableme for my streams, which I normally stream either RuneScape or World of Warcraft or whatever I'm feeling like playing. And then if you're looking for some of the stuff that I'm actually working on, I work for a company called Guesswork VR, all one word. Guessworkvr.com shows some of the games we're working on. One of them is a plumbing VR game, which we're getting real far along. So if you're looking for information on that, guessworkvr.com.
I played
Jason
it.
has played it.
Well, I was gonna say you sounds like your career's going down the drain already, but
Yeah, it is.
All right, Elise, or what? Like Olos, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Apol.
Hello there, Alois.
Apol, you got
Alois,
Alois,
that's it.
that is an Alois joke. Apol, you got any thing to plug?
Yeah, so my man, for couple things. My man Hio590, who couldn't be here, I had to rep him. I had to do my favor, solid rep him, the guy who's Sleepy Boy.
He's off finding a career in the
Working, sleeping,
games
I don't know.
industry.
Give him a shout out because he has been streaming really hard and trying to get back into things. I know it's hard for him because he's got very little time, or he's usually like dead ass fucking tired with how much he's putting on there. And then two, I guess Dapper might mention this. We're going to Detroit for the LCS finals, so shout out. Hopefully, safe trip up there to Detroit.
Yeah.
Because I've never been there, and I've heard rumors about Detroit. All of them good.
Detroit is the friendly city.
All of them really good.
the city of
so
brotherly
anybody
love.
who's in Detroit, give me a shout out up there. So I'll see you up there.
And Dapper, anything for you to plug this week?
No, I don't stream or anything. I have a Twitter. It's @DapperDastard. I don't really tweet much, but I follow cool people.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I got nothing.
Well, speaking of Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter at AroundTheMonito without the R because it wouldn't fit. Might be changing that soon, so stay posted. And then also we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have...
You have an Instagram? Oh,
yeah, man. We've got a Discord. We've got all the things.
YouTube's been bopping still.
And we have a YouTube. Actually, sometime in the next week or two, I should have a new video out on how EA lost its soul. Having a lot of fun editing this one. All of the voiceover work is done. I've got about 8 minutes of finished edited footage. The whole video is going to be about 30 minutes. I think I'm going to cut it in half and make 2 15-minute ones. So
Yeah.
Also,
Your
if
other
you-
one was good though.
Yeah.
If you tweet at Around the Monitor enough, they might ask you to be on the show.
also, yeah, that's literally what Mark did. If you have any interest in being on the show, please just reach out to us. We're always looking for new people, and yeah, I think that's going to be it for this week. So
Pro Ham's coming on soon.
Pro-Ham. Got to get Pro-Ham in here with the freestyle raps. For the record, that was I want to say a 12-year-old kid who hopped onto a voice call with me and 8Ball one time because I didn't have my Discord settings right.
Yes.
That was and he challenged us to a freestyle rap battle. It was pretty awesome.
I lost. Actually, no, I did pretty
No,
well.
you did way better.
I read lyrics offline when I was doing it.
Wait, that's not freestyle.
I was cheating. I was, yeah.
Dang,
What the
you just
freestyle
played
to
this
cheat.
kid so hard.
I'm gonna cheat.
I love this. All right, but that's going to be it for this week of Around the Monitor. Tune in next time. We'll go live again next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, this has been Around the Monitor.